Hey guys, welcome back to Car Connections, and I'm going to be discussing what should you pay for certain diecast cars. This is an interesting topic that I feel that I would touch on because, that's kind of something that you really probably want to, make sure of. You want to make sure you're paying the right price for what you're buying, and, so today I'm going to talk about my thoughts on that and everything you should know. I'm going to start on the first, the three main factors on price vary on the following. So the first is if the model is a new release, until the model becomes older, it really goes for more money. So this includes new castings or new colors of previous castings. Usually the new color versions don't go as much as completely new castings, but you see this with like some new Maisto products. Now I was looking on online, and typical Maisto cars maybe 30 or so in the $30 range, and the new one, the new Cheyenne S10 that just came out, C10, that's my fault, C10, that just came out, that one's like in the 50s, so pricing definitely varies on that. Limited editions, treasure hunt editions bring more, obviously. They're treasure hunts, they bring a lot of money because they're rare. Anything that's rare brings more money. And it also depends on the condition, year, and age. Is the model new or old? So if the model is older, it really also brings decent money, so long it's in good condition. And originally they bring more if they're older, if they're hard to find. If there's 10 of them, all over the place, and the model's older, they probably won't bring that much money. But if the model's older and they're hard to come by, like, discontinued castings that haven't, been around for a good 10 years, usually those bring more money because they're rare and hard to find. It also, again, depends on the condition. So has the person taken it out of the box? Cars in the box always are going for more money. So if you want your better chances at getting a diecast and it holding its value, you're better off keeping it in the box. I never do that, but mainly for videos, and also because I don't really get the point of just leaving it in the box. But if you want it to go up in value, leave it in the box because that will affect the condition. And again, if the model is rare, that also depends. So this is an example. As you can see, this is a regular 911 GT3 RS, $4. This is the Hot Wheels Treasure Hunt Edition. $250 was what I found one for on eBay, which is crazy. And there's a couple differences. The first is you can see the paint. If you look at the two paints side by side, this one's more flat and just paint. This is more, purple and shiny. There should also be a Treasure Hunt Edition badge on this somewhere. And you can also tell with the wheels, these wheels look more 3D and look more heavy, and I believe have actual rims on them compared to the regular plastic rims on this 911 GT3. So there's a big difference in pricing there, as you can see. Next, when buying used, make sure to shop around. I say this because, especially on eBay, there's a lot of sellers that sometimes, they sell something for more than it should be. For an example, when I was, purchasing my Lexus SC430 diecast a while back, I think it was in the 30s, not counting shipping, and there were some other ones that before shipping was like $40-something. Now, you do also have to be careful of that because it might be more money, but sometimes they don't include shipping. So the things I think you should look out for is the shipping cost. Is the shipping not too much? Is the shipping not too little? That doesn't really matter if it's too little. I don't really know where I was going there, but if it's too much, if the shipping's too much, keep shopping around. If the model is too much, keep shopping around. Also, look at the positivity of the seller. You don't want to buy something and not get it to show up. I have not had issues with that. I don't know anybody that really has. Well, actually, my dad bought a PlayStation and the thing arrived completely broken, but that was on Facebook Marketplace. As far as eBay goes, haven't heard of any issues with things not being received. Even though I originally look out for that. I think the lowest percent model I purchased may have been like a 98% positivity rate, and it still arrived. So, Usually, that's not a huge issue. I'd hope it wouldn't be, but sometimes they do get scammed. And also make sure to look around for, make sure a model, and you should always add up the model price plus shipping, because you might get a model that's $46 and shipping's free, or you might get a model that's $46 and you say, oh, I want the $46 one because it's cheaper. Then you add $20 in shipping and it adds up to more than the other model that's $46. So that's another thing to also be careful of. Next, the bigger the scale, the more expensive. The only time this rule is broken is special editions, like we saw, treasure hunts, things of that nature. Always go for more. It doesn't really vary on the scale. This includes Hot Wheels treasure hunts, like I said, other limited edition models. Generally, also models that are hard to find, which they also sell for high value. Not really basic. Not really typo there. Not really based on scales. Next, how to find a rare diecast. First, look for signs. Like I showed you in the Hot Wheels treasure hunt, you can see the paint was shiny. You'll also see a special logo in a hidden place. It'll also be priced accordingly most of the time. So, if you're looking at, if you're shopping for 911 GT3 Hot Wheels, and the one you're looking at is $250, chances are it's not a regular 911 Hot Wheels, and it's some rare treasure hunt or some other limited edition that's hard to find or just is rare. Next is, how much should you sell your diecast for? Of course, if we're going to sell. So this depends on a few things, and not like the factors on the first slide. What the model is and how rare it is. So, if the model is really rare, it'll go for more. If it's not as rare, it won't go for as much. Next is the model hard to find. Kind of goes around with the rare aspect, but can you find is there 20 of them listed on eBay, or is there only 5? The next is look online, see what similar models are selling for. Make sure to look at a couple of listings, because sometimes people price things too cheap or too expensive. That's what I'd suggest doing, because, you may have one person that prices their diecast, real expensive, and another person that, prices it, not as expensive. And you kind of want to meet in the middle. I'd say look at maybe 5 or so listings and say, okay, what was kind of the average selling price of all of these? So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, I am glad. Thank you all for watching, and I'll hopefully see you guys here soon in the next video. Hopefully this was helpful, and thanks for watching.